Happy Sunday, everyone. This is Phyllis, Silver Cats Crafts. I was asked on one of my other videos if I would do a tutorial on how I attach the flowers to a pencil eraser cap. So that's what this tutorial is going to be about. I have cut out, 24 pattern petals and 4 of my yellow, which are going to be my center. And in case you've never made these petals before, I saved 2 of these so that I could go ahead and show you the way I fold my petals. I fold from the right over to the left, making a L shape of sticky here, and smooth it out. And then left to right, keeping these edges even. And then one more. And this gets real easy with practice. I do like making flowers. I really like making the mini flowers. They're a lot more work as far as the folding goes, but they're really fun, especially for making the keychains and miniature flowers on pens or pencils. So then next what I do is, of course, I have an eraser cap that you can purchase any, office store, Walmart. They come in, multiple packs. They're not expensive at all. For ease of doing this, I make sure and put it on a pencil. It makes it easier to hold on to. And I just start, let's see here. I just start like I would on a pen. I try to go around the bottom here. This one here, I'm going to leave the eraser as it is. Another option, if you want, is you can take your X-Acto knife or scissors and cut off the top about halfway down. Try to keep it even as far as level. And when you do that, if you've seen some of my other pictures on Instagram, you can then hot glue a jewel on that space that's in the top. And once you do that, then of course you can put it on the pen after it's cooled off, and then you can wrap the petals around. When I get done here, I will use this blue eraser and show you how I do that. I'll get my jewels out. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and start. And I start up a little bit higher, the first row, so I have a little bit room to go down to make it open up. And just wrap it tight. Again, this is hard to do on camera. And this is making the flowers. If you've ever made them before, you know how to do this. As far as the sequence of wrapping them. Usually in the process of doing this, you'll probably have it happen to you, is I'll end up popping the cap off while I'm doing this. So that's not unusual because it moves as you're doing this too. So if it goes flying off, I've warned you. Alright, so now I'm going to start with my actual pattern tape here. And at some point, if I can figure out how to use YouTube's editing tools, and if somebody wants to give me pointers on how to do that, I could possibly speed these up so you don't have to listen to me chatter. Now what I do with mine is I don't go back and forth anymore. I actually just start filling them in. I like to go around in a circle. That's just the way I do mine. Everybody has to find the way that's comfortable for them to do their flowers. And you can make these caps, you know, the flowers big. In other words, you can make them really full, or you can make them more compact. It's just whatever you want. The bigger the flowers, of course, they weigh. I mean, duct tape does, eventually the weight does add up. And so they can get kind of, where they feel kind of heavy. And I just kind of keep eyeballing where I'm putting my petals at to try to keep them even. See, it's trying to come off again. I have to keep pushing on the cap, and I usually put my finger in this center right here to keep a hold of it while I'm doing this. While I'm pushing. And if it's easier, you can take it off. Sometimes that's easy to do as well. Especially right now, since that pencil is tall, it's hard for me to keep it in the camera frame here. And as you can, there's the inside. You can see the little eraser down there. It looks kind of cute like that. You don't always have to use the jewels. And what I find when I get towards the end here is I've found that sometimes the tape wants to move a little bit on this rubber cap. So I usually add a little bit of hot glue around the bottom once I get closer to help them stay. I've had one flower kind of pop off of the eraser one time when I was showing somebody. Of course, all I had to do was pop it back in there. It was no problem. So whichever way is easier for you to do this, either on the pencil or off the pencil. That's what I always say, do whatever's comfortable for you. And I'm sorry if I'm a little bit slow. I'm too much of a perfectionist at times. My mother was very frustrated with me as a child, when she was teaching me to do different crafts. She's the one that got me started on doing crocheting when I was 12. And shortly after that, I learned how to knit and then sew. And always did like making things. It makes you feel really good. Have you accomplished something. You made something that you wanted, especially when it turns out the way you like. That's even better. I did learn most of my sewing actually in home ec and school, though, because being the perfectionist that I am, if it didn't come out right, I would tear it out with a seam ripper and redo it. And that frustrated my mother to no end, because what I saw as an imperfection, she did not. I have, with time, especially with my crocheting, I've learned how to, I've learned how to fix mistakes without taking the whole thing apart. So I have learned that I don't have to completely redo something every single time. But it was a long time in the making, and I know my mother finally just threw up her hands and said, "You can just learn on your own or let your teachers do it. I'm done. And I don't blame her in the least, because there's nothing worse than somebody thinking that it has to be perfect. You eventually learn that imperfections are part of life. Therefore, you just need to learn to deal with it. A little bit of my philosophies. Almost done here, it looks like. I think this will be enough petals. We'll see when I take a look at it. I always have to eyeball it to see if I like the way it looks. Well, this one here looks like it's working pretty good. I may not have to put any glue on it at all. It looks like it's pretty well stuck. Now, what you can do also, if you want, is you might want to add some little leaves. Let me get my green. Just a moment here. This is a little short roll I got from Tape Brothers. I like their tape as well as duct tape. What I'll do here is I'm just going to make the little flowers, the little petals. Well, that wasn't very straight, but oh well. You won't be able to tell once I fold it. So folding the little petals is just like the big petals. Just a little bit less tape. You want to leave enough sticky there so it can grab on to the eraser and the petals above it. So make sure you have a nice L of sticky when you're folding that over, and then a good amount at the bottom. Okay, so we will just take these and just kind of randomly place them on here as close to the bottom of the eraser and push up tightly. I'll go ahead and space these evenly so that they look right. And here's the last one. So that looks cute. And we'll just take our pencil and push it back on here. And there you go. See if I can make that light better here. Point it into it. Let's see. Go slowly around. I think it came out very nice. Go ahead and comment. Give me some thumbs ups. subscribe if you're not already. And if you want to send me pictures of your flowers, I'd like to see those as well. Oh, and let me show you what I mean by cutting the cap as I promised. Let me get a jewel. Okay, so what you can do is either your X-Acto knife or your scissors, whatever you think is easier, is just about halfway down. Try to cut it evenly across here. You'll get a little flat edge right there. And then I just take my hot glue gun. Oops. Which has been over here heating up. And take and put just a little bit of glue on top here. Just enough to hold the little jewel. And stick it on top and hold it down. Just hold it tightly for 15 seconds or so. Make sure it catches it really good. So that's what I do. I just have it on there, and then of course I just start wrapping around it like I normally do. So when you do that, then you're just going to see the little jewel in the center, and that looks cute too. So you just remember to cut about halfway down. It doesn't cut through. As you can see, it's still sealed there. You're not going to cut through the top for the pencil to come out. Oops, I didn't get enough glue on there. Let me try this again. See? Perfectionist. Let me get a little bit more glue on here this time. Be a little bit cool. Ooh, okay, well, I'm probably going to burn myself, so you have to be careful when you do this. I am always burning my fingers, but I do have it set on low temp, so hopefully not too much burn on my finger. I smush it down, and then I will use my finger to get that excess off of there. And you won't be able to tell. That looks like I probably cut this a little crooked. You can fix it, you know, straighter if you realize that you cut it crooked. So, but I think it's stuck on there this time. And of course, once it's wrapped, once you wrap your tape around it, it's not going to go anywhere. There, okay. It's on there now. But that's what I do as far as to attach the jewels, is to just cut the top off of the eraser and then just go around with the petals like I told you. So it looks like the 28 petals is of the big tape, and then 4 of the little leaves. So that makes a very nice flower for the kids. Or for the adults. I have quite a few people at work. They actually like to write with pencils. So, there you go. Thank you for watching.